Hey hiking friends, it's Dr. Jake GIESE with Flex Forward Physical Therapy. I help hikers and backpackers stay pain-free and on the trail and give them advice so that they can enjoy their next hike, whether it's a day hike or all the way up to a through hike. So with this, today we're going to be talking about nutrition, and nutrition specifically for hikers because it's so different from any other type of activity. The main thing that we need to consider with this is packability. We need something that's light, and we need something with a good amount, small size, so that we can put it in our pack. This video is going to specifically be talking about the calorie intake, your water intake, and proper nutrition that you need to sustain a comfortable hike. First, let's talk about calorie intake. Specifically, calorie intake, you should be consuming roughly 100 to 300 calories per hour when you're doing your hike. We want something that it has more quick sugars as well as a longer burning fuel, such as fats, for example, that will help you get your calorie intake, give you that energy for long periods, but also give you the sugar spike you need to help prevent your glucose levels from dropping. We don't want it to spike either. We would just want it to kind of stay in the middle. So good ways to pack your snacks and get the nutrients you need and the energy levels that you need would be energy bars, your granola bars, nuts, seeds, fruit, even sort of jerkies. So for example, what I like to pack to get that sugar spike to keep my glucose up is carrots. You can also do like gummy worms or gummy bears. I see people do that stuff, but I like to try to stay along the natural or healthier routes, not like your chips and your gummy bears. Those will give you high calorie gains, but I like to keep my fueling as natural and comfortable as normal. So not things that I want to eat things that I normally eat, not things that are like junk food just to give me the calories, for example. So let's talk a little bit about like the jerky, and I've seen beef sticks. That's something that I do. It gives you that saltiness, it gives you a little bit of protein. It's still packable. You can put it in your hip belt or you can put it up on your chest strap. And the other thing that I usually consume is something like a nut, and you can use different types of nuts to give you higher fat content. So fat is super important because fat, for every gram, you're getting about 8 calories. Whereas with other things like carbs, for every gram, you're getting about 4 calories. So that's why nuts give you more calories at a smaller packable size. So you can consume things like almonds, cashews, walnuts, those sorts of things. Cashews and walnuts are going to be on the fattier side. They're going to give you more calories. Almonds are a little bit more protein and less fatty content, so they are a little bit healthier, and that's what I usually generally take in is maybe a mix between a peanut and sometimes cashews, but otherwise I'm taking in almonds for the most part, okay? As far as my energy content. Now, occasionally I'll put in an energy bar in there or some sort of maybe a protein bar or granola just to give me a little bit of variety. I also like to bring apples as well, just because it gives me some carbs and it also gives me the sugar intake. Let's talk about water intake. So water intake, you do need to stay hydrated to stay comfortable on the trail. You're going to be sweating out water and salt, so you do need to bring in some electrolytes. With your water, you do need to consume roughly 1 liter of water per hour, especially if it's humid or hot. You're going to need to be taking in more water intake. You should also be taking in some sort of electrolyte drink. Well, some people take a Gatorade. To me, that's very sugary, and I don't want all that sugar, so I may water it down. Otherwise, you can take in like electrolyte powders that you would be taking in pretty regularly. You can either buy them like specifically online for like long distance training, like people that do marathons and that, or triathlons. There are specific things that do that. Otherwise, you can just get a powder at your local like Walmart or big box store. Okay. But another thing to consider is you need to think about your thirst and your hunger cues. So I know, for example, a quick story about me is when I was backpacking in North Carolina, I did about a 12-hour hike one day, and I did not take in the proper water, I did not take in the proper food, I didn't even pack anything, and I just did the entire hike without it. You end up getting muscle cramps if you're not taking your electrolytes and your water content. Specifically for me, it was calves, and that's where I always get my cramps at least, and it's just so uncomfortable, especially when you're hiking up, increased elevation terrain. So really take in your water and your electrolytes, do it regularly, and do it more so than whenever you're thirsty. It is a good idea to do it when you're thirsty because that's when your body's telling you, I need water, I need something. It gets thirsty. But I like to stay on top of it a little bit more than that because I find that if I don't, I get cramps. Same thing with food. If you don't consume your food, like on that day when I did my 12-mile hike, you get done and you're done with the hike and you may find that like, oh my gosh, I need to go to this specific restaurant and I need to get the crappiest food ever. So like no hit on McDonald's, for example, but like I normally don't eat it, but when I go hiking, I would maybe love something like that, something greasy, something that isn't maybe the best for me. And so in order to get rid of that urge, what that is telling, your body is telling you, I need protein, I need fat. It's saying, I'm hungry, I need calories. So it latches onto the things that give you a lot of fat and have a lot of calories. That's why your body is going into those feelings where it needs something like that versus something else. So in order to get rid of that, you need to beat the hunger urge and just keep consuming your calories. So in summary, your body needs energy. Bring snacks that are high in those calories. Bring in water and bring in things that are have electrolytes in them to replenish your fuel supply, both from a glucose standpoint, an energy, or in other words, calorie standpoint, and then your water intake and output, because you're going to be sweating out your minerals and your water. So we need to not only consume water, but also electrolytes and minerals. I hope that was helpful. Please like and subscribe. Comment below if I missed something. Like I said, general recommendations. If you're looking for something more specific, please reach out to your physician or some sort of nutritionist to help you get a more specific plan. But those are things that I like to think about or consider when I am planning my next adventure. So as always, stay pain-free and happy on the trails. I'll see you on the next one.